So you also have multiple kids. So tell me about stewarding those relationships. I love the conversation about the heart and asking those questions. But how do you see the process as a couple of like, okay, child number one, this is what I'm seeing. This is how we want to lean in here. Child number two, tell me about that.
I think what Amy said was really good. Just that every kid is different. Your goal as a parent is to be a detective, to understand how they are best wired by God. They are not made in your image. They are made in God's image. So I just get to steward that kid for 18 years, rent free, before we kick them out. Hopefully they can get on their own. But my role then is to steward God's gift to me. And too often as a parent, I really want my kid to be different, my kid to be in my image, what I really hope for them to enjoy. I wanted my kids to play basketball. They played soccer. Yeah. I wanted my kids to play an instrument. They didn't. They wanted to play, Spotify and soccer. Exactly. And so it is more what makes them tick. How are they wired? How can I breathe life into the way that God already made them? And you don't do that without proximity. You don't do that without time. Someone once said it's like air increases with distance. And so the closer that I am with someone, the more truth I can really understand and see and how they're made. One guy I know that I always admired. He had 5 kids. And every week he would have a breakfast with one of his kids. So once every 5 weeks, he's having breakfast. It's just a rotation. And that just became a rhythm of their life. Mm-hmm. And so if you don't create the space for that proximity to happen, your kids will feel like strangers. And the depth of conversation will sacrifice.
I would also say a little warning to that is that we are also in a culture where our kids are so individual. And if you don't like this school, we'll go to a different school. And if you don't like this, we're going to do this. And then you spend all your time catering to that child's needs. And and that's a thing that's happening. And so there are times you're like, we're all going to the same school and you don't have to do that. I'm not, right. But there are times when you're like, no, we are all doing this together. And even if you don't like it, or if it's not perfect for you, we are getting so self-focused and we can be so individualized. That there's a time where you might need to say, no, we're all doing this at the same time, or it might not be the best for this kid, but they're going to be okay, So there's like a little bit of a balance there, I think, that has gotten out of whack in our society because we can be so individualized. If my kid doesn't like this, we're going to move on. Right. We've got to make everything perfect for them so they can have their own truth and have their own, whatever. And it's like, nope. That's what we did. We moved to Little Rock and we allowed our daughter to choose the school, and it was a private school. And our other 2 kids, we had toured schools, and our 2 boys were like, but we like that one better. And we said, for the sanity of our lives, we are all going to go to the same school. Yeah. And so now if one child is like really, really struggling and there might be a different option, of course, consider that. But in general, are all kids, we're like, nope, for our sanity, that's what we're going to do. And going back to the sports, our son is on a kind of a mediocre soccer team, and there's a better soccer team, but it's like 45 minutes away. We're like, for our sanity, we're not spending 45 minutes there and 45 minutes back in the car. He's going to be on the more mediocre team, team, and it's just going to make our lives so much better. And we can have dinner together because he's not in the car forever.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
And that, I think the character development in those decisions, learning to think about others, great life lessons.
Yeah, very good.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's not all about you.
That's when you talk about stewarding, I think we need to make sure that our kids always know that they're loved, that this is a place where they can be themselves, fully themselves, and be accepted. That's what I mean by that. Consistently, we want to communicate that. But at the same time, we don't want to, Jen, you just made me think of this. We don't want to remove every discomfort from their life. I think sometimes we even interpret love as meaning I'm never going to let you hurt.
Yeah.
And I think that's our natural impulse too, is to try to remove any pain or frustration.
Yeah. Which really is doing them a disservice because they are going to feel and experience pain in their life. And if we haven't taught them how to feel that and to work through that emotion, and to know that emotion's okay, and I will get through it, and God's gonna give me tools to work through that, it does them a disservice to not let them feel some heat and some pain in life.
It's okay to sit the bench on this team right now because for whatever reason you're not playing.
Yeah.
Now we can change maybe at the end of the season, but I'm not just gonna run in and
Yeah.
take you out of it or confront the coach or, you know,
Good.
intervene in some way that's going to make sure that you don't feel this discomfort. It's okay for them to feel the discomfort. That's
Yeah.
part of my stewardship.